Hey everybody, this is Dr. LadyJ. So tonight, oh man, y'all, I'm tired. I really didn't feel like doing this, but we got to talk about it because it is news today. For those of you who may not know, I'm pretty sure everybody probably already knows now that R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years, and I just want to spend a few minutes talking about that because this sentence, it's similar to when Bill Cosby was sentenced, and there were varying opinions. Some people were happy, some people were sad, some people didn't know what to think or how to respond. They were just a barrage of questions. And so, there were varying opinions. I do this every time, y'all. I'm so sorry. And so, I'm so sorry. I do that every time I come on. It irritates me that I do that. But when you're engineering your own show, sometimes that happens. so please forgive me. But so I wanted to talk about it tonight because it's something that really needs to be discussed, and it's I need to put this window down a little bit because it's kind of noisy. I can't get it. But the thing is, he has been accused of sex trafficking and racketeering. And so today he was sentenced to 30 years for sex trafficking and racketeering. And he was actually, what is it called when they put you in prison? I don't know all the terminology. Thank God I don't know anything about prison. Thank you, Jesus. But when he got locked up in 2021, charges. That's what they charged him with. Sentenced with racketeering and sex trafficking. And so his sentencing day was today. And the judge sentenced him to 30 years. And I really want to get into it and talk about it a little bit because y'all might be surprised at some of the things that I say. Because to some people it may sound like I'm siding with him or I feel sorry for him. And please don't believe that. But I'm just, you know, because of who I am and what I do, I have to talk about all sides and all aspects of this um, thing with him. So, for those of you who have been living under a rock and you don't know the story of R. Kelly, he was married to Aaliyah. Aaliyah was 15. She was a singer, beautiful young lady. He was like 27, I think, when he married her. She died when she was in her 20s in a really terrible plane crash. But the marriage was later annulled because, they discovered how old she was, and so the marriage was annulled. But apparently, Mr. Kelly likes young women, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that because I don't know that he likes young women, and I'm going to tell you why. But I want to say a few more things about his case first. Now he is still facing a trial for child pornography and obstruction of justice. His next trial date is August 15th. So the thing is, like when R. Kelly gets out of prison, he's going to be in his 80s. I mean, he's really going to be an old man. They spoke with his lawyer, and Gloria Aldridge, y'all can look her up. She's like the celebrity lawyer to the stars, and she does a lot of cases for women who have been abused and in really bad situations. They call Gloria Aldridge. I wonder how much she costs. So but she actually was the person who did the case for these women against R. Kelly. And before I tell you what his lawyer said, the ladies who actually have accused R. Kelly, some of them spoke up today. One lady was saying that she was just glad that he was finally caught. Like she was an African American woman, and she said she just felt like nobody was listening to what they were saying because he's R. Kelly. And I can believe that. I can believe that. I think that a lot of people knew or probably thought that he may be doing something, but I think people just loved R. Kelly. They loved his music so much and that's what happens. And so people just kind of, you know, brushed it under the rug and they didn't really pursue it and look at it like they should. And so His attorney. Now, I don't know if you all know this. You probably do. That R. Kelly is illiterate. I'm not saying that in a mean way. R. Kelly does not know how to read. Apparently, his comprehension level is very, very low. So his attorney, I wrote down what she said. Let me read to y'all what she said about R. Kelly. She said R. Kelly has literary issues. Things had to be explained to him very slowly. She said this because she said after he was sentenced, he kind of looked like, like what's going on. I guess he didn't really understand what the judge was saying. So that's what the lawyer said. I wrote word for word what she said about him. She said that he has literary issues and things had to be explained to him very, very slowly. My understanding and what I have, and y'all, I really hope that this internet is working right because I'm not home, so I hope it's not messing up because that annoys me too to no end. Um, but I've seen other reporters talk about him, and they talk about the fact that he is illiterate. He doesn't know how to read, and so a lot of deals that R. Kelly had, he lost money because he wasn't able to really read the contract. People took advantage of him, and sometimes he was actually putting out more money than he was supposed to. He wasn't receiving the money that he could have received because he couldn't read. And so people were really like going in on him at one time, like, yeah, but you can go after these young girls, you can do this, that, and the third, but bro, you can't read. So, and we're gonna talk about that. I ain't gonna be on here long tonight, y'all, because I'm so tired. I don't know if you can see it in my face. I am tired. I've been like working all day on stuff. But so anyway, while they were outside talking, I was watching all of this on CNN. And while the ladies were talking, and this is why I want to really have this conversation because while the ladies were in the mic talking about, how grateful they were that he's being locked up, that, he can't come out and do this to anybody else, there were people in the crowd calling them liars. They were calling them dirty, and you're not going to get away with this. And my thinking is this: there's going to be some crazy people out there. These women are probably going to have to go into um, hiding or something because they're not going to be able to really show their face. At least not right now. At least they. I thought they were going to make it for me. I don't eat wraps.
It's a turkey wrap.
I don't eat wraps though.
You just said you wanted a turkey
sandwich. I said
sandwich.
a sandwich. This is a
wrap. You said turkey sub.
Yeah, but this is a.
That's a cold turkey sub.
Thank you.
This dude. Man.
Excuse me, God. I sent my son to get me a turkey sub.
What's the difference? It's still cold cut.
A sub, not a wrap. I don't eat wraps because when I eat them, I feel like I'm chewing on paper towels.
Oh my, come on, man. Let's go. We are. This man just dramatic. Let's get out of here.
So anyway, I apologize if they've interrupted my live for just a few minutes, but yes, I'm doing a live right now. Sorry, y'all, but that's what happens when you're, when you're doing a live. That's what happens. I'm eating a wrap. So anyway, so it was sad because I'm thinking that what's going to happen is these young ladies are not going to be able to really show their face for a while because it's some crazy people out there who are going to want to kill them because they love R. Kelly so much. Y'all remember when Bill Cosby got locked up, and a lot of people were saying, those women knew what they were doing. Could be. I don't know. I wasn't there. But the thing is, I think that we have to kind of slow down and pull back on that a little bit because we weren't in the room when everything happened, and we don't really know what transpired. And so I think we gotta slow down a lot of times on the things that we say. Like, we say that they were saying some of the women, they wanted it because he was R. Kelly. Another person had said that there was a parent. What was that guy's name? Eric. Eric. What was the guy's name? Do you remember him? R. Kelly's. The guy I talked to that was his daughter was with R. Kelly. What was his name? Well, his nickname is Pooh. I have his name in my phone. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, um, I actually interviewed, did a little talk with him for a little bit. This is my little handsome nephew right here. They can't see you, nephew. Stand up. There he is. Look at him. He's so cute. So anyway, they just interrupted my whole live tonight.
He want to show everybody his cut.
So
show her the cut. Everybody want to see the cut.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to be professional here. So I actually talked to him for a few minutes. He's a really nice guy. His daughter was actually one of the girls that was with R. Kelly. And the thing that he said to me was that a lot of people, and this is why I said we have to slow down on what we're saying in the comments that we make about people, because what he told me is that a lot of people said he let his daughter go with R. Kelly because of the money that R. Kelly was paying him. He said, Lady J, I don't need money. And after I looked into what he was doing, because he was trying to help me do some stuff, he don't need money. And so a lot of people say things and they really don't have the full story. That man and his wife, and I'm so sorry I cannot remember his name. Him and his wife never took money from R. Kelly. They didn't need R. Kelly's money, but that was the story that was out there. So social media, people make up all kinds of stories about people, and you really, really don't know what's going on until you talk to the person. And I'm glad that I had a chance to talk to him, to have a conversation with him. I was asking him, did he want to come on camera and do an interview? But he was just like, I'm over it. Like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. He just wanted to heal because, like he said, for him, his wife, his daughters, it's been a long time. And so I understood that. I respected that. I let the conversation go. I'm not that kind of reporter. So, I let it go. But I appreciate him, telling me some things because it helped me to understand. Now, here's what I want to say about R. Kelly. Um, Apparently, R. Kelly was abused as a child. The abuse, they say, started about 6 years old. One of the reporters said today that his daughter, not his daughter, his sister was one of the people that was molesting him, his sister. And so from 6 years old, and I forgot when it stopped, but it went on for quite some time. I'm just sharing the video. Sorry. Do you mind?
They did it again.
I am on a live. Can you go in the other bathroom? And the ham sandwich is going. A whole other bathroom in there. And close the door, please. Thank you very much. It's a house full of people here. And they all just had to come up in this room right here while I'm trying to do it live. And I'm trying to be professional. So anyway, they said on the news today, I think it was CNN or one of those channels, I forgot what it was. And I'm going to get on that British news channel. I'm going to get y'all in just a few minutes. I really need to do a baptism for them, but I don't have time because I'm hungry. I want to go downstairs and eat because I've been up here working all day, so I can't do the baptism today. But they said that R. Kelly, from the time he was 6 years old, he was molested. He was made to take pictures, nude pictures were taken of him. He was molested. He was physically abused, verbally abused. A lot of things happened to him in his childhood. So what I'm about to say, I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way. Because for those of you who know me, you know that I said that I was molested as well. So the last thing that I will do is take up for somebody who is a predator, a molester, a pedophile. I won't do that. But what I will say is this: the behavior that R. Kelly exhibited, I'm not surprised about. What was done to him, he did to other people. There was never love involved. It was anger. It was fear. It was what's another word I can use? He just had all types of aggression, because the thing was, he grew up angry, and this is not what somebody's telling me. This is what you see, and you begin to understand that he grew up very angry because of what happened to him, and love was never displayed to him or given to him as a young man, and so he grew up as he was in he started being an angry boy, grew up into an angry man, and he started taking all of his pain, his anger, his frustration out on women. And he was good at what he did. Not only was he good at what he did and hiding it and being manipulative, because those are the things that he learned, it was learned behavior. And so he actually just transferred all of that onto another person, onto several people. So I'm not really surprised. I don't discount any of the stories. Was it some there for clout, because he was R. Kelly? Could have been. I don't know. But I think that we have to be very careful in how we um, talk about people, because we like I said earlier, we were not in the room, so we don't really know what happened. We don't really know what took place. We don't really know the full story of uh, were they there just because he was R. Kelly. We don't know, and I think we just got to be real careful when we're talking about that. People's lives were involved, and I find it very interesting a lot of times when people who have not suffered any type of sexual abuse have so much to say. And I will correct you very quickly because I know what it's like to be molested and have someone. Uh, and I hope the kids. I was trying to do this video late because I hope the kids are in bed, or they should be. They should not be walking around at this time. My nephew is going to go to bed. They came over to visit, but he can go to bed. That's why I told them shut the door. Um, but I was 11 when I was molested. And I knew nothing about sex. I was a tomboy, didn't know anything about it. So to be penetrated at 11 years old, not asked for it, had my virginity taken at 11, that's something that's been with me all of my life, because somebody took something from me that I did not give them permission to take. And it's very sad when people discount your feelings and they discount what you have gone through. So I sat here today and I watched all sides of it. His attorney, the lady's attorney, watched the ladies. R. Kelly, they never showed him. He was just cuffed and taken back to his cell, I guess, or whatever they did. So we didn't see him, but we just heard what his lawyer was saying, is that they're going to fight this, and they're preparing right now, because he has another trial coming up. When is it? August 15th in Chicago. He has another trial coming up, so they don't have a lot of time to play with, and at this point in time they're just being very diligent and focused on this upcoming case. Now, do I believe that R. Kelly did these things? I absolutely do. Because all signs of what he went through in his childhood point to him doing that in his adult life. Now, there are some people, and I know some men who have been molested, and they have turned it around into a positive thing. They have men's organizations. They teach other men, how to work through their pain. And then you have some men like R. Kelly who really, I believe, became a recluse in so many ways, and he just never dealt with that pain, never dealt with that anger. And to be his age, I believe he's 57 or 58, to be his age, to have that much money and not go and learn how to read. There's so many things that when I sit back and I just look at this man, beautiful man, very uh, um I'm tired, John. I'm trying to get my words together. He's seems to be a very powerful man. Very oh goodness, what's the word I'm looking for? He sings very well. I'll just put it like that. I can't get my words out. He sings really, really well. And it just seems like the one thing that he didn't have, very talented, that's what I was trying to say. But the one thing that R. Kelly didn't have was love. Even when he was married, his wife said, and she did all kinds of interviews, and people were like, well, why did she stay with him? Because she said he beat her up, he tied her to chairs. He was brutally abusive to his wife until she decided to leave. And so that's a whole nother subject about why people don't leave. We'll maybe I'll be honest with you. I don't like talking about this, period. The only reason I'm talking about it is because it's on the news and I'm in the media, and so it needs to be discussed. But this is not something that I really like to talk about because um, I do understand how those women feel. I think the worst feeling that you can feel, and as I was watching them, and they were trying to be very focused on um, talking to the media, talking in the microphone, and blocking people out. But when you have gone through situations like that, and people are in the background yelling, "You're a liar! You're going to get yours, and don't think you're going to get away with it," it's hard. I think that these women definitely need to be in therapy and counseling for a while because they're traumatized, and they're going to be even more traumatized because they're going to understand that there are some crazies out there who love R. Kelly, and they're going to be seeking them out. They're going to be looking for them. They're going to, if they can hurt them, they're going to hurt them. That's just the kind of world that we live in. So I feel bad about that. But getting back to R. Kelly, some of the things that R. Kelly did, which they talked about a video, the judge said that she had never seen anything like that. I don't know what he was doing in that video, but she said some of those things she had never seen before. I don't know. And so the thing about R. Kelly and people like him, like I said, he seemed to be a loner. As much as he had money and fame and fortune and all of that, he seemed to be a loner. He was a very troubled person, and he was a grown 50 something year old man who was still like he was really that little 6 year old boy in pain. And instead of him getting help in his adult years and dealing with that pain, he just reverted back. And he was just like a kid out here acting up, doing all kinds of stuff because a man who is in his right mind is not going to be running after or behind children. They're not going to find children attractive. They're not going to find themselves hugged up with a child. A man who is whole, a man who is a man, who don't have those kind of issues, you're not going to find a man doing it. And so these men who are pedophiles, these men who are find it sorry, these men who sitting near the window, y'all. These men who find it, find that it feels good to them to be with children. There's something wrong with them. And I understood what the young lady said. Finally, somebody is listening to us because for years they had been crying out. I didn't write everything down that they had on CNN. I believe it was CNN, but CNN did a whole, it was like a chronological line of what R. Kelly has done over the years. And R. Kelly was winning stuff. He was like R. Kelly. He was big, making songs, making hits, getting all kinds of awards. And at the same time, he was being accused of messing with young girls, and nobody heard that part. People only were clapping. I believe I can fly, and this song, "Step in the Name of Love," all these things that he was doing. People were excited for him, but nobody was listening to the people who were saying he molested me, or he did this to me, or he did that to me. It wasn't until 2019 when Lifetime, and I guess R. Kelly knows now that this ain't no Lifetime movie. It wasn't until 2019 that um, Lifetime did a show called something R. Kelly, something about R. Kelly. Let me find out what that was. Anyway, y'all can look it up online. But it came on Lifetime. I didn't watch it because, like I said, I don't like talking about this subject, and I don't watch those kind of shows. But it had the women. It was supposed to be like a docudrama, and it had the women. Close the door. It had the women on there who were accusing R. Kelly of doing those things to them. Surviving R. Kelly. That was the name of it. My brain is moving slow tonight. I've been up here working all day, seriously, all day long since about 9 o'clock this morning. So my brain is kind of on overload, but it was called Surviving R. Kelly. I've never seen it, so I can't really tell you anything about it, but I'm pretty sure it may be somewhere on YouTube or something if you want to go back and look at it. But it was talking about what he had done. He also did an interview with Gail King. Gail is Oprah's best friend, BFF. He did an interview with her, which was really uh, it was a lot. He was doing a lot in that interview because she was just asking him questions like, people want to know. So she's asking him different questions. And at one point, he just got up and he blew up. I mean, blew up. And that's typical because now you want to try to deflect. You don't really want to answer those questions. So you're going to get up and act like you're crazy. You're crying and you're doing all of this stuff. And I love Gail because Gail sat right on that chair and looked at him. It was like a grown man throwing a tantrum. She sat right there and looked at him, Robert, Robert, and she kept calling his name. She didn't call him R. Kelly. She said Robert, Robert, because she knew that, bro, you just deflecting. Just sit down, answer the questions. But again, that was the boy in him. That wasn't the grown man. See, he could dress up. He could be a grown, handsome man and all of that. You got the money, the bling, and all of that. But at the end of the day, um, you just a scared little boy. That's it. And the way they described him in the courtroom today, it sounded like he was a scared little boy in the courtroom because he realized all of the stuff that he's done is finally coming to an end. And you still, in all that you've done, you still didn't achieve what you wanted. What you really want is love. What you really want is a hug. What you really want is for somebody to say, I love you, you're great, you're wonderful, you're amazing. And the person or the people that you wanted it from were not available to give it to you like you wanted it. And so now he has a 30-year sentence. He got 30 years to sit in that prison cell and think about it. And unfortunately, he's not going to get what he really, really wanted. And a lot of times when I'm counseling people, I sometimes have to tell them that, you may have to say to yourself that I have to be okay with the apology that I may not get. I have to be okay that my mom or my dad may not be in my life like I want them to. And I got to work through that. And it's sad that R. Kelly had so many people around him taking from him. And they were abusing him as well because they were in his camp and they weren't giving him the advice. They weren't being hard on him as they should have. They were just letting him be R. Kelly. And one of the reporters was saying that some people that worked for him was saying how nasty he was. And I believe that because that's what he grew up with. God just continues to give me confirmation for the topics that I'm going to speak about. And last Saturday, after I finished the one topic at the church, he gave me the topic for this week. And it falls right in line with this young man, R. Kelly. I am going to keep R. Kelly in my prayers because it's sad that he will probably die. He's going to leave this earth and not really know what it's like to have your mom say I love you, your dad say I love you, or some family members say I love you and say that you're great. And that's why if you have children, especially young men, it's important to you let them know, mom, that they're great. You let them know that you love them, that they're handsome, they're going to be something. That's our job. And unfortunately, he had to grow up the hard way and was left to figure out a lot of stuff on his own. And he did not have the capabilities to do that. Some children, grow up the hard way and they go through the struggle and they learn how to live and just be great people. R. Kelly was one of the ones that got caught in the cracks and in the crossroads, and he fell, unfortunately. And he inflicted a lot of pain upon other people that he can never take away. There's some healing that they have to work on. And so I'm not sitting here feeling sorry in any way for R. Kelly. What I do feel sorry about for him is that the people who were in his life, mom, dad, or whoever raised him, siblings, they just did not give him as a boy what he was supposed to get. And that's unfortunate. And the sad part is that there are a lot of R. Kellys out here. There are a lot of young men that I run into who have raised themselves, who are raising themselves, and they don't know what it's like to have a hug, to have love, to, like I was just laughing and joking with my son and my nephew. They don't know what that's like. They've gone through stuff as a child that I never had to go through. So I just want to say to everybody that as we continue having this conversation, that we look at all sides of it and we learn from it. Because in everything that goes on in life, we have to learn from it. What could have been done better? How can we avoid being in that situation or our children being in a situation like that? And I pray for the women because being molested, walking around with that pain, I saw the tears today. I know what that feels like. And it takes a while to get to the healing part of it where you don't cry about it anymore, where you're able to talk about it and you're able to continue to move on. Um, it doesn't really affect me like it used to. Only when I have these conversations. I don't like talking about it. But they are going to need a lot of support and a lot of therapy because people on social media can be very cruel, and I know they're going to be saying a lot about them. Now, before I close, let me get to the British Broadcasting Network. Let me say this real quick. because I was watching on YouTube one of the British broadcasting news stations, and maybe it's something that we don't do here in the States because we're more professional over here, but they called R. Kelly all kinds of names before they even got to the story. I said, what kind of news station is this? And they're like one of the major channels over in Britain somewhere. I'm trying to think of a really nice way to say this. Because what I need y'all to do is just tell the news. You don't need to call anybody names. Just tell the news. I saw something else that they did. It was a comparison between him and Bill Cosby. But there was no comparison between him and Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein is white. What Jeffrey Epstein did was just as bad. What's that other old man's name that got locked up? He was in Hollywood and everybody used to talk to him, and he got locked up too. I can't think of his name. I see his face, but I can't think of his name. The lady that was with Jeffrey Epstein, who was actually getting the women to come with him. She was coercing the women to come on, because Jeffrey wants to meet you, he wants to see you, and getting them involved in all of those sex activities. She got sentenced yesterday because she was with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, I guess he was so afraid he killed himself while he was in prison. So he just went ahead and took himself out. But British Broadcasting Network, just do the news. You don't need to call anybody names. Oh my goodness, they called that man so many names. And again, I'm not taking up for R. Kelly, but I just think that sometimes we make stuff a black and white thing when we don't need to. This is about people. This is about women that are hurting. This is about a man who. This is about a man who destroyed not only women's lives. What Charles said, he did it, so now the judgment. And true. I'm not arguing with you, Charles. Not at all. I'm not arguing with you at all because I believe he did it. And all signs of how he grew up points to him doing that. And I believe that had he not, this is my personal opinion, I believe that had he not been caught, because see, people like that, sometimes it becomes a high. It's like an adrenaline rush where, okay, I did this to this person, so now I'm going to do this to the other person. They always got to take it to the next level. So I believe that he probably would have eventually really hurt somebody really bad, if not killed them, had he not been stopped. So going to prison may not be a bad thing, you know, because he wasn't getting the help that he needed. He was just floating through life. A lot of people float through life, and that floating through life will get you into some serious trouble. I tell people all the time, grown men, grown women, you have no business floating through life. Especially when you're in your 40s and 50s and 60s, what you doing floating through life? You better learn how to be the man and woman that you're supposed to be, so you can see what's going on around you. But there are people that's just floating through life, have no clue about what's going on around them until they get caught, like R. Kelly. And now he has to sit in a cell and think about all of the people that were around him that didn't stop him, that took advantage of him. People giving him contracts, knowing that the man couldn't read. So you got all kinds of stuff missing or stuff that's in there that shouldn't be in there. Like he gets to sit and really think about, because he's been in there for 3 years now. So I don't know if they're doing time served, but even if it's time served, 27 years, that's a long time. Um, and who knows with the other case, what time he'll get for the other. Let's just say R. Kelly's going to be in there for life. How about that? He's going to be in there for life because I don't think they letting him back out. So anyway, that's all I have to say about R. Kelly. Like I said, this is not my favorite subject, but because I'm in the media, ain't nobody gonna do it for me because this is Lady J Media, so I have to get on here and do it. Um, and for those of you who have so much to say, this is why I'm Lady J Media. You don't know what I do in the background. I do a lot of stuff in the background, and I have a lot of stuff going on. And if you ran your business like you run your lips, you probably would be a millionaire or billionaire. But some of y'all only know how to do lip service. I'm going to leave it right there because I'm so tired of y'all talking. The hate is real. The hate is real. But like I tell you, it's my season and I'm going to be blessed and I'm going to walk into it. Now, run your business or run your life like you run your mouth. All right? Have a good night, everybody. Pray for R. Kelly. Pray for the ladies that's involved. And listen, let's always look at every side of the coin, okay? Every side of it. All right. Have a good night. Be blessed.